That brings up a topic of conversation. So, do y'all use your hard scriptures anymore, or is it all
Very,
strictly
very
electronic?
little. I would say actually probably none. I don't use it unless it's like a lesson or something I'm giving and I need to show them or do something with
Right.
those. But it's all here,
All
and
electronic.
I'm gonna tell you,
I don't like that. It's funny that you say
I
that
don't either.
because when I was teaching primary, one of the things that I really had, I feel like I had an impression, and I really thought about it a lot and wanted to follow through with it, but I never did, was I wanted to have all of the children in my class to bring scriptures with them.
Right.
Because they don't, and you don't want them to have the kids that, most of them don't have any kind of device anyway. The ones that do, if they're on it, they're just going to be playing around. And, it's like, it's really, there's something that's lost when we don't have the actual scriptures in our hand. It's not quite the same.
Well, look at the general authorities. Anytime I've got questions about trivial things like that, I call it trivial things that aren't really, you don't have to stack your salvation upon it, but things like this that are important. And I look to the general authorities, and they have these worn scriptures still that are just heavily marked. And you think, well, because they're old guys and older ladies that they don't use their phones a lot. No, they're very much with technology, but they are smart for getting the hard copies, because this goes dead, man. I mean, or internet in general or whatever goes away. I've got a blank set of scriptures in there. I've got to start over. I got to Baruch this thing again, and so, but maybe I'll go harder on it, But
I think Marcus just coined a new phrase. We're going to Baruch this thing.
Baruch this thing, man. You gotta.
I like that.
Hey, we got to Baruch this thing.
Yeah, so I've started getting back into like so if I'm sitting inside the house doing it, I'll purposely pull out my scriptures, hard scriptures. For one, here's one reason is that I want my children to see me. So if I'm looking at a phone, I may be reading my scriptures, but they may think I'm looking at Facebook or whatever, just or messing around, right? So I wanted to see that. Quick funny story. It was probably about 2 months ago or so. I ended up having all the kids get out their set of scriptures. And so I had everybody bring them to the table, because we're the same way. A lot of times we'll read them if we're reading together, family on need and things like that. We'll just use the electronic device. But anyway, this particular day, I said, all right, everybody get your hard scriptures. We're gonna use the scriptures. Well, Charlie ended up stopping by, and anyway, he stepped in perfect time. And this family sitting at the dinner table got all their scriptures out right, just like a picture perfect moment, right?
Right.
Lily looks at Charlie. She says, Charlie says, wow, look at y'all, and Lily says, we don't do this very often. And anyway, just like bust out. I said, let me clarify something. We don't pull out the hard hardbacks, the actual scriptures very often. It's more for the electronic devices. So
in the mouth of babes.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lily throwing you under the bus.
You're right under the bus.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway.
So this is not super important, but I know in chapter 36, we talk about all these people with the unusual, difficult to pronounce names. And verses 11 and 12, it's funny. I did actually record, because it's just such an absolute concentration of strange names. I'm going to try something. I'm going to see if this actually will, if you can hear it in my microphone. I'm going to play it. You ready? We're going to try this.
Micaiah, the son of Gemariah, the son of Shaphan, had heard out of the book all the words of the Lord. Then he went down into the king's house, into the scribe's chamber, and lo, all the princes sat there, even Elishama the scribe, and Delaiah the son of Shemaiah, and Elnathan the son of Achbor, and Gemariah the son of Shaphan, and Zedekiah the son of Hananiah, and all the princes.
Wow.
That's some serious pronunciation going on right there.
I know, man. When I was looking at that, I was like, I got to turn on the audio feature for this, because I don't know how to
mention that, because I have been just jumping back into to Google to figure these things out. I forgot that I could actually hit the
Yeah,
right there, man.
The church.
sound on
I
my
mean,
scriptures.
obviously,
And who needs hard copy scriptures?
the church. That's the biggest drawback right there. The church obviously researches these things. So whoever's narrating,
oh yeah, it's got to be.
I'm sure that they're putting some research into this to make sure that names are pronounced as correctly as possible. So yeah, I kind of that's what I default back to if I'm unsure about pronunciations. I just turn on the audio feature on the Gospel Library app.
That's right. Yeah, I haven't thought about that. That's a very good, helpful hint there.
Yep. Little scripture tip.
Scripture tip of the day.
Everybody, since Marcus and Kenny, myself, have had this conversation about which to use, whether it's an electronic device or your physical scriptures, I've thought a decent amount more about this topic, and I figured I'd share just a few thoughts with you, a few of those additional thoughts. I'm teaching seminary, and I've recently had a conversation in this direction with them about using their phones and using the scriptures on their phones. I've explained to them, look, I know we are in a technology world now. We have advanced to that. We have evolved into a technology world, so it's here to stay. So I'm not interested in making them use their physical scriptures during seminary. I'm not interested in taking their phones up or anything like that. What I've explained to them is that in their hand, they hold a device. Just don't allow it to be and become a vice, something that distracts, something that turns them away from God, something that leads them into temptation, something again that becomes ultimately a distraction, which that device is for so many of us. And I explained to him, look, I said, I remember being on my mission, and before and after, and sitting at a dinner table, having my scriptures out and 4 and 5 books out in a scripture journal. And just as I studied the scriptures, we didn't have these electronic devices and everything to utilize. And so I would have, basically the dining room table just, filled with books, searching, studying, writing. Now we have all of that in the palm of our hands. And technology is only going to increase in its capabilities. For example, can you imagine taking a VR headset, putting it on, and then studying about Moses and the parting of the Red Sea, being able to be there with the children of Israel as they were escaping and running from the Egyptians, getting to that Red Sea and feeling like there's nowhere to go. We are trapped. We're going to die. Moses, why did you bring us out into the wilderness? We were fine where we were. At least we had homes. At least we had food. At least we had places to stay. Now we're out here in the wilderness and we're about to die from the Egyptians because now we're stuck. And then Moses parts the Red Sea. And you're able to go with the children of Israel down onto dry ground through that Red Sea with waters on each side, and then come out on the other side. And you look back and you see the Egyptians coming after you. And then those walls of water come crashing down. Imagine being able to experience that. And we can. Eventually, I see us being able to study the scriptures in that way. So as we get more and more into the technology world, in studying scriptures and utilizing these things, here are a few tips that maybe you can utilize. Number 1, address the distractions. As I said before, the devices that we hold in our hands and that we carry around with us everywhere we go can be, and many times are, a distraction. So when it's time to sit down and study your scriptures, all those notifications that you have, turn them off. Turn off the notifications. You're going to be getting text messages. You're going to be getting phone calls. You're going to be getting notified of, who's liked your latest Facebook post, or notified of the breaking news from CNN or Fox News or whatever it is you follow. Those notifications are going to be popping up if you have them on, but if you turn them off for that 30 minutes, for that 15 minutes, for that hour, whatever it is, turn them off, and those things won't show up, because if they do show up, you're highly likely to click on them. Number 2, utilize the tools within the device, such as highlighting the different verses, scriptures that stand out to you, tagging different conference talks and verses and articles, setting it aside for later on for easy retrieval. Utilizing the comments and journal entries portion of your devices. If something jumps out to you and the Spirit prompts you on something within the scripture, use the comment section, use your journal entries. And then obviously you have the opportunity to easily share what you have read, what you've studied, something that you've taken away with friends and family. Number 3, take advantage of the convenience that these electronic devices provide for us. We find ourselves waiting a lot, whether you're waiting in a car pickup line at school, whether you're waiting for your child to finish practice at football, basketball, or a recital or piano practice, or whatever it is. Or you find yourself waiting in a doctor's office. How often are we doing that? Take the time, pull out your scriptures on your device. Again, you don't have to carry a big Bible around, a big Book of Mormon around, or anything. It's right there in your hand. Pull it out and read it. Take advantage of its convenience. And number 4, why not use both of them? Many times we have the opportunity to study the scriptures within our home. Well, take out your physical scriptures and read from the scriptures there, and then you can utilize your electronic device as the resources to cross-reference different general conference talks, to pull up inspirational videos, to pull up the study manuals and everything to assist in your studying of the scriptures. So there are a few tips in utilizing these electronic devices in our scripture study. Good luck on your journey as you study the gospel of Jesus Christ, and y'all keep on striving. Hey everyone, thank you so much for checking out one of our short clips. If you'd like to view this episode in its entirety, be sure and click on this link right here. We'd also love to have you join in the conversation by utilizing the comment section. We want to know what you're thinking and what your thoughts are on the topics of discussion. If you're enjoying this content, be sure and like our videos. Also, if you would like to know when there's more content released, be sure and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you find that you're on the go and it's better to listen to us that way, you can find us on any of the major podcast platforms. Also, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Saints in the South. You can also share this information with any of your friends and family who you think would enjoy this content. Thank you so much for all the support, and we'll see you on the next episode.